income. I don't know if anybody else has noticed in this conversation. This is not very passive. Okay. This is not very passive. And so
This
the
is hands on.
this is very hands-on, right? And so the more that you're coming into it with the mindset of this is passive, okay, let me back up a little bit. Our brains tell our bodies what to do. Our bodies are just the robots. Our brains are the supercomputer, our subconscious mind specifically. And so when you have it in your mind that this is passive income, it is going to stop you from wanting to do the work because you're thinking this is not going to be a lot of work. This is passive. I'm just going to be collecting a check, right? But there is so many other components to this, say here, being a property, being a landlord, right? So when you're thinking of being a landlord, think of it a bit bigger. Think of your wealth building as something more. So it's funny because I was telling my sister about this. I said, girl, I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna tell them about my Monopoly analogy. Really pumped about this analogy, okay? So bear with me. But it's like playing the game of Monopoly, right? You got your boardwalk, you got your park place. Those are the big money makers, right? And really most people kind of land right there. Like everybody ends up having to pay on the boardwalk and the park place. But in order to get to the boardwalk, because the money you start off with, you can't afford that at first. What do you got to do? You start investing in the other properties on the board, start getting paid that way. Then all of a sudden, you can afford the boardwalk and the park place. When you think of being a wealth builder like that versus just being a landlord, but expanding at this property is going to allow me to get this property. And this property is going to allow me to get this property. It's a different way of thinking. And that thought process gets your body into motion. That thought process opens your eyes to be able to see the opportunities. I love that everybody was saying because my mama had the same situation with a tenant. Same situation where they were there too long and they ended up having to pay, right? The reality of it is this adversity, this travesty, it's meant to learn. When we look at it as a learning perspective rather than, oh, I don't want to get because I don't need me to have somebody there too long and I gotta pay the extra Y to Z. Start looking at the opportunities, but looking at the opportunities are knowing, and I said it at the beginning, overall what it is that you want. If you know that your why, what is your why? Start there because your why illuminates your path. Why do you want to be a more than just a landlord? Why do you want to build wealth? Right? I want to have multiple properties so I can leave them to my kids, generational wealth, right? That's what a lot of us are saying. Well, think about that. Are we just leaving them one property or are we leaving them multiple? And when you remember why you're doing it, so I was talking to my parents this morning. My parents have multiple properties. They've always had multiple properties. And they said when they first got into marriage and they were like deciding how they wanted to build wealth with one another, they said, "Oh, we're going to buy a property every year." They weren't thinking about the tenants. They weren't thinking about all the costs and all the crazy things that were going to pop off. They just knew they were going to buy a property every year. And guess what they did? They bought a property every year. I grew up with parents who had apartments in Fresno, multiple units, right? Every year. They've now taken those properties, done 1031 exchanges, and bought bigger houses, right? And they were able to take because their why was they wanted wealth for their children. Well, when my sister moved down to Northridge and was having a problem with her roommates, my parents took one of their properties in Fresno, did a 1031 exchange, and bought her a house in LA.
Mm.
That house in LA, my sister brought in her roommates, and guess what they did? The roommates paid that mortgage. Okay. And so when you realize what's my big plan? Do I want Park Place? Do I want Boardwalk? Or am I getting the railroads? Because you know when you get all four railroads, they got to pay you $400 every time they land on one. Okay. And so that's what you have to remember. So most importantly, I want to say, have fun. Treat it like Monopoly. I know that sounds like lies and craziness, but do that. Because what else is everybody else out here doing? And I'm gonna bring this up. Everybody talking about Pinky, from Slutty Vegan, right? Because she did it differently. She bought, she had all her places. She ended up in $10 million worth of debt, couldn't pay, right? So she had to sell it, but she didn't sell it for long. She just bought her company back because her at the helm, they said it was going under with somebody else running it. Her at the helm is what's needed, but the reality of it is she knows her overall vision. She just had to let it go for a minute, but then got it back. A lot of us, that's what some of these situations that we're going through with the tenants and having to pay all this money. You got to let it go, let go of that money. Here goes my money mindset. Let it circulate because guess what? When it comes back, now you're smarter. Y'all are in this room because now you're smarter. By the way, millionaires take notes. Just so y'all know, millionaires take notes. I hope y'all are in here taking some notes because Mr. Hairston and Mr. Patrick, they were dropping gems, baby. Okay, I was in here. I got notes in my notes. Okay, but the reality of it is, when we start to really absorb the information, now you're bigger. Now you're better. Now you're stronger. Now you're ready for the park places and the boardwalks. So that's what I got, Ray.
Love it, love it, love it. I'm hearing amens, and I'm seeing the faces on screen. Really, it's written all over their faces. I think this is everything collectively is what's needed. We need to, like you said, your why. We need to source our why and our conviction, and know that it's not gonna be. I think what an outcast is. You can plan a pretty picnic, but you can't predict the weather. Shout out to Andre Three Stacks. You can't predict the weather. We got to stay ready so we don't have to get ready, right? Because it's gonna happen. And so I know Mr. Patrick at one point in time he did a piece about how a property he was acquiring, they had a neighbor adjacent to it had was sweating him about encroachments, and the insurance. We talk about risk mitigation, risk management that he had saved him again. So um I love it. I love it. Anyway, so I did so Reggie, Mr. Patrick, did you want to chime in into that question? I'm seeing Reggie's eyes get big.
Yeah, I just want to be, and Lord, we thank you for what. No, I'm just kidding. No, you know, honestly, no, I'm learning how, as Coach said, excuse me, believe it or not, I'm learning how to stay in my lane. And like she said, I love what you just taught me. Millionaires take notes. Hey, get ready, stay ready. I mean, no. So let me not try to add more to the spokes, add more spokes to the wheel. Thank you. No.
Mr. Patrick, did you want to chime in on
No,
this?
I think she did a phenomenal job of representing that. I don't have any further to really expound on.
I'm gonna tell you though, Mr. Patrick and Mr. Harrison, y'all are wealth builders, and I loved how Ray was like, "Thank you for this mastermind." Like that's the reality of it is we are right now within a mastermind, and inside the book Think and Grow Rich, the mastermind they say you could open the door by yourself, but you can get it open a whole lot faster when you got a group of people with you, right? And so here we are at the table. Okay, we at the table and we are building wealth with one another. I love how Lucretia said at the beginning, we are co-creating with one another.
See, this the problem, preacher. Y'all, I'm trying to be quiet, but Lord bless you. You know, but seriously, on the real, man, you're right. You can't help it. Seriously, real quickly, 100 seconds. I got in real estate from another Black man who helped me mentor. I want you to learn from my mistakes. I lost everything in 2008. And usually when I tell a story, I'll cry, but I'm a big guy. I won't cry. The pollen is a little heavy, but I'm okay for now. What happened was I lost all my stuff in 2008, y'all. When I eventually got it back or whatever, I went to go pay him back his money. He helped me with $25,000. I gave him back after it was all over, 18,000. A businessman. He hugged me and kissed me. He was like, "Oh my gosh, you saved my life," or whatever. I'm like, "You gave me 25, I'm giving you 18 back." But because he's business minded, as you're talking about, that 18,000 did more for him at the time when the market was bad than I would have. But the takeaway is two things. Number one, you guys, learn from our mistakes. learn from my mistakes. And two, talk. My new rule is I'm going to talk to every and anybody. I'm going to ask Mr. Patrick, hey, Mr. Patrick, they didn't pay me their rent on the 3rd. What should I do? What would you do or whatever? Talk, ask questions, please. So,
And speaking of questions, I think we got to thank you for that, Mr. Hairston. Reggie, um, Martinique, you had a question?
I just wanted to do a quick recap to make sure my notes, because millionaires take notes, are intact. So get involved with an organization, sounds like from Mr. Reggie, for your leases, East Bay Housing, etc. Have maybe a real estate agent to help you get a contract, because I know California Association of Realtors you can draft a contract on there, but you can also we can maybe ask. I know that was a question of one of our participants to get a lease, a completed lease, so we can see, just what the proper documents, whatever's needed, whatever needs to be filled out. So Mr. Reggie or Mr. Phillip, if you have a lease that you can share with some redacted information, that would be great. Also, it sounds like we need an eviction attorney in our back pocket. um, Landlord insurance. I wanted to ask Mr. Phillip what the landlord insurance was. He said a specific type of policy. I didn't get to write that down, and that was another question that somebody had. So if you could share that information, that would be great. I don't know if I missed any. There was so many nuggets, but I got a few of them. Thank you all.
Thank you.
It was the personal liability endorsement policy.
Thank you.
Thank you for putting that in the chat, Coach Jackie. I think we have one last question that we want to pose, and it's about balancing risk taking, right? How do successful investors balance risk taking with consistent wealth building habits over time? Because we know this is a marathon.
I love this question so much just because, for the simple fact, there's so many things that come up for me. But number one, I just want to let you know, faith and fear, they don't live in the same house. They don't live in the same city. I don't even think they in the same state. You have to remember that your faith and your fear, they can't coexist. So if you're coming into risk taking with all the fears, all the worries, I need to be prepared. I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to do this. You have to remember, that is going to bring all that to you. Everything that you're scared of is going to come. I have a friend that literally reads the side effects on the side of the bottle, and then after she takes the pill, she get all of them. Her mama started to rip the wrapper off of it just so she couldn't read the side effects because she knew that she was going to fall out and have all these issues. That is when you are approaching it from a risk thought process. That's exactly what you're doing to yourself. You're reading the side effects, expecting not to have any of them, and you going to have all of them. So approach it from a perspective of, I mean, the reality of it is, this is the fun part, Look, he said, Pastor Jackie, Malcolm, don't get me in here talking because I'm gonna start talking about Peter on the water. I have a whole story about Peter walking on the water.
I'm sorry, y'all. I apologize for the people who are close to me. Y'all know I'm not a very religious person. I'm a very spiritual person, and I know people don't understand the difference between that, but there is a difference. When you said that your fear and your faith can't coexist. I had a bishop that told me that, and he would talk about how quiet the church would get because
Yes.
that doesn't people don't get that.
No.
If you're gonna claim to believe in God, the amount of fear that you possess has to be low.
Yes.
You can't
Yes.
sit here and believe in a God that is a God above all gods, a God above all creations, above all your imaginations, and lead by fear. One of
Yes.
those two things has to be true. Either you are led by your fear and your fear designs all your life, or you
Period.
are led by your God and you understand that your fear is temporary and that whatever you believe in is going to overcome that fear.
Yes.
Your fear is a small test to an infinite God, and you have to internalize that as true or live in fear. And a lot of people can't. Anyways, it took me a while to believe in that. I believe in that
Yeah.
now, but it took me a while to believe in that. Like you either are driven by the belief of God above all gods, or you're gonna be led by your fear every day. There's no middle
Every
ground.
day. Every day. You instinctually in your brain have the fight or flight condition. It's in there. It's there. It's going.
Everyone.
Everybody got it. We all got it, right? But it's your brain trying to protect you from the unknown. Only because you haven't seen it. Only because you haven't done it before. And I feel like that's what happens with a lot of people when investing in multiple property. You've never done it before. Maybe your family's never done it before. You ain't seen nobody do it before, right? We're over here being blessed because we got Mr. Reggie and Mr. Patrick. They're showing us we can too. But not everybody has those type of people around them. And so as they're moving forward, they're scared. Like, I don't know about this. I ain't done this before. But again, Peter on the water. There was nobody out there walking on the water but Jesus. There was nobody out there but with Jesus. Everybody else in the boat screaming, scared by the waves.
Tripping.
Okay, tripping.
Tripping.
And mind you, this happened at 3, 6 in the morning. This is in the morning. And so Peter gets out there, he starts walking on the water. But it wasn't until he started looking at the waves, and that's when he started to sink. Stop looking at the waves. Again, know your why. Knowing your why keeps your eye on the prize. When you keep your eye on the prize, guess what happens? You see all the opportunities for you. You see everything that is meant for you. You see the right person at the right time. You get the perfect tenant who pays on time.
Come on.
Their property like your home, right? Like, keep your eye on the prize when you know it. I'm gonna tell you right now, Section 8, they right. Don't nobody want to lose their Section 8. Those will probably be some of the best tenants you run into because they don't want to lose it. And like the risk is small, right? So don't limit yourself to what you've always been told. I met a lot of the women at the Section 8. One of the ladies passed away, which was my best friend's mama, who used to work at the Section 8 department in Oakland, the housing authority in Oakland. I was in the building with all of them, and those are some God praising women. They're the bomb. And I was like, okay, I know that's right. So they're going to have your back. Everybody has your back. The universe got your back. God got your back. Everybody around you got your back. But when you view it from that perspective, you always are going to be propelled forward. So keep your eye on the prize. All the other worries don't matter. You got this, baby. Wealth building, if that's your goal, you better start now because guess what? It's already yours.
Well.
Claim it. You know what, Coach Jackie? I don't want to stop anybody. I want this to continue, but I do want to be respectful of our audience's time. If you want to stick and stay, please do. I'm going to stick around for a bit more to make sure that everybody here got what they needed to get out to the audience. And but I did want to, if there's any questions that anyone wants to ask before we adjourn from audience. I know, like I said, I want to be respectful of your time. Please ask your questions now.
And while you're doing that, I'll just give the final announcement, which is our next multifamily movement meetup is the first Saturday in May. We have Jonathan Madison, an attorney, and we will also have CPAs. We'll be having conversations with us. So we would love for you all to convene with us next month and every month thereafter. We've been focusing on Zoom these last 4 months, but we may do an in-person meetup. But right now, I think we're going to still move on in the Zoom realm. We got a lot of engagement, and we appreciate the opportunity to engage folks that aren't in the Bay Area. So maybe we'll do both. Maybe we'll do the Zoom and we'll do it in person. But we would love to lay hands on folks. Our initial market meetups were all in person. We never did Zoom, but we see the benefit and appreciate the opportunity to expand across the nation. So, and I just want to extend my graciousness and my appreciation to Mr. Phillip, to Reggie, and to Coach Jackie. It is my hope and it is my desire that the Lord supersede every desire that you have within your scope, that unlimited possibilities unfold before you, that the doors are open massively fantastically and all the things that your heart's desires may manifest, that even you supersede that which you thought you could do, be, or have. There's nothing that you cannot be, do, or have, because you have the Lord God, the creator of the entire universe, on your behalf. And it is my hope that our next steps are moving forward and into the greatness that we all occupy in this earth realm. So I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next market meetup. We love to build network and capacity and relationships. So I hope this is not the first time we see you, but that we're moving forward to co-create greatness moving forward.
And I want to, real quick, Coach Jackie, I want to tell for folks who are looking to leave, please don't keep us a secret. Please share this with a friend. It is sometimes going to take, like, if you have someone who's your twin, who's your ace, someone who's like-minded, who would enjoy this. And I wouldn't say just presume. Just share, I would say share this information with other folks, because cooperative economics can be an excellent way to accelerate your pace in real estate. Please, Coach Jackie.
My mother has a question. She wants to know if, sorry, she's literally been here the whole time. Personal liability endorsement, that insurance, you said what?
Is it the same as the rental insurance that people normally get?
Is it the same as the renter insurance that people normally
I
get?
usually get rental insurance on my property, but I've never even thought about the personal liability.
Oh, I thought they were. I'm not a lawyer. To my understanding, they're two different things. The personal liability one covers anything outside of like property engagements. Basically, think of like the flavors of your activities of life. Dealing with property is what's labeled under like property and liability. The personal liability is supposed to cover not just you interacting with that property, but also other items. Like say if you get sued by someone saying you said something slanderous about them. That's my understanding. I could be wrong, but that's my understanding of like the different flavors of like the renters, like basically the renter's insurance that a renter would get and what the landlord would get as terms of like property insurance, and then separate to that is like your personal liability insurance, like if you're across the different spectrums of activities,
Yeah.
like like say someone like a newspaper sues you for saying something wrong about them, like that's a personal liability event or engagement. I
Was
would
that the type
check
that
a little.
Mr. Patrick talked about? Was that the insurance coverage that you suggested, Phillip?
Yes, I think that's on. It's spot on. I mean, that in the personal liability insurance policy covered my tenant lawsuit against me. It also covered my neighbor's lawsuit against me. So it's coverage for legal and any sort of settlement for any kind of personal lawsuit.
Yeah, like multi event. Like property can be one event, but personal liability is multiple events, like the property things and other type of engagements that you may encounter in your life.
If I may ask everyone just to come on camera for a second so I could do a screenshot. I would love to see everyone's face, please, and thank you, because I do need to post in the multifamily movement that we had our market meetup.
Hey.
Paula, can you come on?
Oh, look at Damon. I ain't seen Damon in a minute.
Damon, we miss you, Damon. Oh my God. Oh, hey,
Lester.
Paula.
Okay, I see got
Paula's
Dre.
driving.
What's up, Dre?
Hey,
Got
Andre.
Miss Harrell.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Rolling. Hey.
Anybody else willing to come on camera so I can do this screenshot real quick? Hey, Jason, welcome.
Hey.
So happy to see your face.
Hey, guys. This was honestly very informative and interesting, and I want to thank Malcolm for giving me the invite to join this. Mr. Hairston and Patrick, very, very interesting insights. And then Coach Jackie, inspirational, honestly. I think that was some of the coolest things. I started my own business in 2018, and I've been slowly grinding and getting to where I'm trying to get to the point where now I'm launching my website, haven't done that, getting all my ducks in a row, and this was honestly the boost I needed to take the next step. I'm going live on LinkedIn and working with my wife to get a mailing list out. She's a real estate agent, because the way my business works out, similar to real estate, is I want to help people, especially people in our demographic and just buying first-time home buyers who don't understand how to take care of their property, but to give them that assistance and help them maintain and bring up their equity, and what they invest in. And that extends to people who have multifamily investments, and helping them maintain the equity and how they can find clever ways to increase the value of their investment and maintain it over the course of a period of time until they're ready to release that asset and move on.
Sounds like we need Jason on another call. Sounds like.
Yeah, my
Sounds like.
is in architecture and construction.
Oh yeah.
Years I've been doing this, so definitely. Thank you for the invite, Malcolm.
I'm glad you were able to join, man. I knew you would enjoy the crowd here. So it's all locked in. It's all a locked in crowd.
Hey, is there any other participants who want to, chime in before we make our transition? Thank you, Jason.
Yes, thank you. And then, yeah, well, let me hold space and see if anybody else wants to ask any questions. Did you get did you
I did. I got it. Thank you.
Okay, we locked in. Okay. I did want to invite, I know, did Mr. Patrick leave? I know you had a slide, Reggie, and then Mr. Patrick, you were finishing up your presentation, and I know I interrupted you midway. So if you wanted to close that out, round that out, that's fine. Reggie, I'll be here till 1:30.
Okay. All right. Well, real quick, yeah, because I was wrapping it up. Let's see.
And you should have screen share capabilities.
Okay. All right, here we go. Okay, so I talked about Section 8, and then for Airbnb, there's more income upside flexibility, right? So that's kind of the plus. Of course, it could be, I mean, it could not come in as much too, but there is an ability to make more, depending on the market forces, and tends to be less wear and tear on the property. People are out and about more than long-term renters or Section 8 tenants, right? So there's that benefit that the property tends to, and you're cleaning it for every guest. So something's wrong in there, you're in there fixing it or addressing it right away. So the property, so if something that's affecting your property, that could potentially affect your property long term, you see it right away when you go in to clean and then address it. So there's that. There's guests requests that you give you feedback. And so what I found is that all these people come in and somebody comes in and maybe they're just staying with their family, but they happen to have a contractor's license and have been contractors for 30 years, or they're plumbers or something, or they just happen to have there's something about their living arrangement that raises a red flag to them, and then they give you feedback. And at first I was kind of like, oh, I don't want to hear this feedback. And then I realized, no, wait, I do want to hear this feedback. This feedback is helping me to create a better experience for people who come through. It's improving the quality of my property. And so people come on and give me comments on things I've never really thought about. I mean, what's a topper? I don't know. Does anybody know what a topper is? Yeah, I don't know what a topper.
A mattress, right?
Yeah, for a mattress, right? There's toppers on mattresses, right? Well, I never heard of a topper. And, this woman said, hey, me and my daughter, we have to sleep with toppers. And so, and I come to find out that's kind of a nice thing to have when you sleep. A lot of people like to have a top. Do you like a topper? Is that something you like on your bed?
I've had to literally go through this with my mom when she visited me. She was like, "Your bed is too hard. You need to get a topper, or else I'm gonna come back to visit."
Yeah, there you go. Right, and you were
I
probably,
was like, "Damn, direct feedback, bro." All right.
you were probably like me. Topper. What? First of all, what is a topper? And then, okay, is it really that important? Okay, I guess it is. And so now I got toppers, right? And but there's a lot of, but I can go down a long list of things that I wouldn't have in that property had some guest not come in and given me feedback, right? And so it just improves the quality of what you have with an Airbnb because people are coming in, staying there, and giving feedback, right? We have the benefit now of apps like TaskRabbit and Instacart to where I can have an Airbnb, my Airbnb in Miami, my Airbnb in Old Town Alexandria, right outside DC. I can get I can get a really good handyman, got 50 reviews, all 5 stars, and knows how to get in there, get it done, and get out. Right. And with Instacart, oh man, some guest arrives and we're missing I need some supplies, or I'm out of some supplies, I'm out of conditioner, I'm out of bath soap, or something went wrong with this guest and I want to do something for them. So I want to send some coffee, some creamer over. I can Instacart, boom, get it there. Right. So that's kind of, there's apps that offer this great support for remote management now, right? Where you can do it. The downside of it is that guest bookings can sometimes make their property unavailable at some of the most desirable times, right? So I made the mistake of not blocking out last Christmas. Right. And so, and I wanted to stay there with my family at one of my Airbnbs, and somebody booked it up. And so now I can't, it wasn't available. So there is that thing where sometimes if you want that unit available for yourself or for someone else that because that's another nice thing about Airbnb is I got a buddy of mine who has an Airbnb on the beach, Dillon Beach, right by Point Reyes, Bodega Bay. And he was like, hey man, if you need to stay, you want to hang out with your family there, let me know. I'll block out 4 or 5 days for you. And I like to be able to do that with friends and relatives, right? It's a nice place. If it's the Airbnb, it's in a nice location. Hey, it's nothing you can offer as a nice gift. But then also sometimes people can book it when you actually want to stay there or when you want to gift it. And so that's something that can be kind of a thing you got to watch out for, and I guess, and maybe a downside to it. There is an upfront cost of furnishing and of interior design, and you do want to think about the appropriate amount of interior design for a property, because that when people are searching properties, if your property pops, then that can make a big difference, right? And I can show you, some of you have seen mine already. This is the last thing I'll point out. Let's see this here. Okay, so these are some of my Airbnbs here. This is the one in Miami. This is the one in Old Town Alexandria, Virginia. And then this is the one in Oakland.
Can you zoom in a little bit?
Sure.
If you don't mind.
You could, if you Google Lord and Patrick.
There we go.
Yeah, if you Google Lord and Patrick, these will come up.
Nice.
But yeah, so this is kind of, these are, you can see the colors. You want some stuff that's going to make it pop, right? And when people are searching, you want something that's going to stand out, catch the eye, get the booking. And that's where interior design can make a difference. And I have a friend that does that, and does it at a cost-effective price. Because you figure, it's if the interior design makes a difference, you get the bookings. It doesn't take long for that to pay for itself. So that's all I want to point out. That's kind of it as far as.
I think you got a
question. I guess the final thing, Ray, is just that I did want to point out Lord and Patrick Wealth Builders. Okay. And so if you're not on there already, I know we got quite a few folks here on there already. But if you're not on there already, this is an advisory group. It's free. Basically, it's free game. And let's see if I log in. What's going on? Doesn't have me logged in. If I log in, I'll show you.
Your password now.
Right. That's like you guys can have it. I'm not gonna. I mean, it's not like it's gonna. Okay, there we go. So yeah, so this is it right here. It's growing. You can see here. I got 11 people. Oh, okay, 11 members. Okay, so I got people pending, but I'm not just letting anybody in. Everybody here on this call is welcome to come in, and I'm gonna make sure everybody on this call gets in, right? But I looked up one day and I had 7 people pending, and I didn't know any of them. They just found out through different means, but it's really for folks that I know that we can that I can help out. And if I don't know who you are, so anyway, so this is but the idea about this is basically free game. I got one-on-one sessions I'm doing. Of course, it's the Lord. He's the one who gives you the ability to produce wealth. And that's my story. That's the one and only thing I got going for me is the Lord guiding me through. But I've got a lot of community. I've got a lot of postings here where if you want to find a deal, or if you're looking for down payment assistance, for example, there's down payment assistance in the Bay Area or in California. In fact, recently, the state of California they published an article reminding people, look, that government freeze on funding does not apply to California. Okay, they wanted to make it clear. We got down payment assistance, closing cost assistance programs that do not rely on federal funds. So get your application in and get your money, is what California is trying to say to people. Right? So you find yourself walking away with, $10, $20, $30,000, $100,000 in assistance. They've got the same thing going on in other states. It's in all the states. Okay, New York, right? New York's got a $100K down payment assistance program if you're looking to purchase in New York, right? And that one is for first-time home buyers. I have a friend of mine I just talked to yesterday. His wife was a physician, and there's a special down payment program for physicians in some states. So you really want to look. I've got another link here. So, okay, the way to look at it is you can go to finding the deal, funding the deal. So if we go here and we look at the funding the deals, here, this one here. Okay, yeah, here it is. So you go to this. These are the different down payment assistance programs and grants last year, but there's a whole bunch of them in all different states. And the thing is and they keep getting updated. So this was from 2024, but depending on the state you're in, you know, the programs, this site right here will give you the programs that are available. And there may be, and this isn't exhaustive either, there's maybe some beyond this. But anyway, there's a lot of information on there. You know, I'm just, like I say, I'm just giving away free game. You know.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. No, this is helpful. Definitely will share this amongst my network as well. So thank you, Mr. Patrick.
Thank
Very
you.
welcome.
And I think we had a question. Marnique, did you have a question?
Oh yeah, I was just curious about the Airbnb. I mean, like what success is? Is it based on location that you have more success? Is it based obviously on the interior design and the aesthetic? But any other features that kind of pop out that like you see from your Airbnb management side that like, oh, this is lucrative. This is a great place. Like what are the things that you look out for? I guess that was my question.
Right. So I think for Airbnb, it's kind of a moving target, really, you know. I mean, right now, the Bay Area, I mean, there's a lot of people trying to, it's really interesting. I feel like the Bay Area I'm getting a lot of bookings, you know. I mean, look at my Airbnb bookings.
Okay.
Look at that.
Like what percentage?
Are they consistent? Yeah, I got
What
questions.
percentage? Like how many? Like 80%, 70%, 60%?
But it depends on the location. And it depends on the time of year, right? So in Miami, right? In Miami, November to April, May, everybody's trying to get out of the cold in the north. And so, you know, and so you have that, right? Okay, let me see here. Hold on, I want to give you, let me switch. Is this the right account? I can show you. So yeah, it depends on really where.
Mr. Patrick, do you also have a management team that you work with to help manage? I don't know how many Airbnbs you have total, but do you do it is it self-managed or?
Self-managed. It is just
Okay.
self-managed. I wanted to give you, let me log in here. Okay, wait, okay, so no, let me use another account. Yeah, I can show you. The numbers are somewhere around between like 45 and 75. That's kind of where and it can go up, depending on the time of year, it can go up to 90, 100%. But the key is location, man. You know, it's like you want to get it somewhere where people want to go. So let me just show you. Okay, so let me share my screen here. We could do a whole thing on this, by the way. This is, you know, there's a lot here to talk about and go into. So right now I got a guest here in the Bay Area. I got a guest in Miami. And I got a guest in Old Town Alexandria. So let's see. I don't know if it really. So on my app on my phone, and so let me just say this: I manage it myself, and this is my first time logging into my account in probably 6, 7 months. I never log into my account on my laptop. It's always through my phone. So I manage everything through my phone. I've never, I've been doing this since 1988. And what I found is if you have a reliable handyman, reliable plumber, electrician, or like HVAC type, you have everything you need. And if for Airbnb house cleaner, that's huge. But if you have that, you don't need a property manager. They're just going to waste your time and money. But and we can talk more about that. But let's see. I'm trying to get my daughter in on it. She's trying to get her to slow down and do something here.
How do you communicate with the Airbnb people and the tenants? If you property manage, you give them like your personal number, or you go through like the website or something?
Messages. What I do is, and I could go through all this with you, but I've got a whole bunch of I just have a bunch of correspondence that I just cut and paste, change the name, for every situation. And so it's real easy because I just cut and paste the name, somebody arrives, thank you for hosting, here's a check-in, here's the information, So it's just a lot of, it's a lot of communicating through the app. And but I also give my personal information so that if there's an immediate need for something, people can reach out to me, right? And let's see, oh, here it is. So I want people to be able to communicate with me, get a hold of me, and so that I can address whatever it is right away, right?
We got a question here real quick, Phillip, from Shabana. And the question is how do you know which location is ideal for Airbnb? Is it based on vacation/tourist areas or airports? What's the criteria do you use in choosing the ideal location?
Okay. So this property right here, when I bought it, they said, okay, this can rent for $5,500 a month. Why? It's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath. Why so much? Because its location is, and I'll show you the location.
Thanks, Malcolm.
So this property is located, Old Town Alexandria is here. You know what? Hold on, let me do this. See if it finds it. Okay, it found it. They're right here. Hold on. No,
Near the Spaghetti Junction, huh?
yeah. So okay. So the property is located here in Old Town Alexandria. And it is 15 minutes from DC. And here's the airport. So that's like 10, 12-minute drive away. DC is about 15 minutes. You can take the train, walk 15 minutes and take the train and get into DC. But the key thing is, and this is really the kind of the key that why people really like it, is it's historic. It's a historic district. It's where George Washington grew up. And so Lord and Patrick house is here. And the main street where all the restaurants and bars and shops and art galleries and everything else are on this street right here. And so this property is about a 15-minute walk to the waterfront. So like and people like it. So if you just take this little guy and you walk over to King Street, right? Just walk 2 blocks over. Now you're on a street with a bunch of shop. You can see his old town. It's a historic district. So it's got, look at all these cafes, shops. There's art galleries, all kind of stuff going on. People like to come here and hang out because you got places to eat. You can walk to them. But then also, not only do you have the walkability, but you have, proximity to DC and National Harbor, where you can go get to the museums and all that sort of stuff. So it's great for family trips and things like that. People love it. This, let me see. I'll show you. I zip past something here. Let's see, where is it? Okay. So anyway, there's all kinds of. I was trying to find there's all kinds of. Let's see, what is it? Oh. Oops! Somehow I got on the wrong street. I'm on George Washington. I'm not even on King Street anymore. This is King Street right here. But yeah, so how do you know? Well, so one of the things that I think one of the things about this town is if you go to travel and leisure, Travel and Leisure magazine, they rate 50 best places to travel. And they rated this one number 3. So let's see if we go. Oh, there it is, Alexandria, Virginia. Boom, it pops up right there. Right? So look on here. Cairo and the Nile. City, Nevada. Oh, well, okay, I guess I didn't think it was. So anyway, they've got destinations, trip ideas. And if it's on that list, chances are it's a good spot. and they got them in all the states. And the other thing too is, how did I find this place? I didn't go to Travel and Leisure. My sister lives in Virginia, and I like going there. I was like, man, this place is nice to hang out. And went there and realized and just thought, this would be a great place to have a place to come stay. But then for $5,500 a month, so I took a little bit of a gamble. What I did was, when I went into contract, I grabbed the photos from the Zillow listing and I put them in an Airbnb listing, and I got 3 bookings in one day. So I don't know, is anybody still there?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I got 3 bookings in one day. I just created my own fictitious Airbnb book listing. And when I got 3 bookings in one day, I was like, oh, shoot, I came on a winner here. And so, and then I started looking at the numbers at the nightly rates, and the nightly rates were like $7,500 a month, would bring in $7,500 a month. When I looked at the nightly rates and the occupancy, average occupancy, see everybody's, and so now, I mean, look at it, like if you look at my calendar,
Do you have a team in each city, respective city?
this is Oakland.
Engineers and all, or not engineers, but plumber and all that you listed earlier? Do you just refer to each?
Yes, I do. So I do. I mean, that's critical. If you're going to be successful at this, you got to have a team of people you can rely on that are going to, you're going to use them over. They know you're going to use them. So they're not going to try to just take all your money in one thing, right? You have a relationship, right? They're friends, they become friends. You're like, hey, you're doing a great job. I want to work with you. I'm gonna store your number. And anytime I have an issue, I would like to I'll be reaching out to you. Right. And you probably want to have 2 of each, but because if somebody's not available, you want to back up. And then you'll notice here, I've got some blocked out, and you see this little dot, right? The little dot is there because these are VRBO bookings. So I've got this property on VRBO and I have it on Airbnb. And so you're just looking at the Airbnb calendar. But you can see it's pretty much 100% booked this month. So I mean, there's a whole lot to it, there's a lot to it. Can you see my screen, by the way? Or did I stop sharing?
You were stopped sharing.
Oh, did I? Oh, shoot. Okay.
Oh, you had some more. Okay, you had a visual associated with that. Okay.
Well, yeah, I was just going to show you. This is my calendar for this month, and you can see it's 100% booked. And what you're looking at here, these are blocked out because these are booked on VRBO.
Okay. And you have a system by where you can sync Airbnb, VRBO, so nobody overbooks or double books, right?
Right. Yep. Yeah.
And there was one, I had shared AirDNA as a analysis tool, but maybe there's some other tools that you use to kind of determine the marketability, the feasibility, how lucrative a potential property might be.
Right. Yeah, and I was trying to say travel and leisure. I don't know was I sharing when I was here? So travel and leisure has all these destinations, and it just so happens that, one of the top ones is Alexandria, Virginia. Right.
Hmm.
Cairo, the Nile. um, but yeah, anyway, there's all these parts of the world, but Alexandria, Virginia is one of them. But
That was that by design or just sheer happenstance? Like I
it
like
was, the Lord led me to it. My sister lives in Fort Falls Church right next door, and I visited there at Old Town Alexandria and just was like, this is a really nice place to kick it. I mean, it's got everything, I mean, look at the map and uh, got all these restaurants and shops. It's 2 block walk over to King Street where you have all the restaurants and shops and art galleries, and then you got the waterfront, and walking along the waterfront is really beautiful. And then, of course, you're talking 10 minutes to the airport, 15 minutes to DC, where you have all the Smithsonian's. And then you got the MGM, the National Harbor Hotel and Casino right here, right across on the other side of the river, 2 miles away. So it was really the Lord led me. It was just like, this is a great deal. And it just kind of came together that way. And then I realized actually, it was really after the fact that I realized it was on Travel and Leisure as one of the top 3 places to visit in the country. Right. So it's really a matter of, but I think this is a good place to look, one of these destinations that are rated high. Definitely.
So I know we're about at 1:45. I wanted to make sure that folks would you mind dropping your link one more time, Phillip? Just in case folks want to get access to the free game. I know you might flip the switch and start charging for that access. So while we got access to Phillip, you might want to take advantage. I don't know, brother Reggie, are you open to mentoring or partnerships or things like that, or are you just you coaching? Or I wanted to make sure that I respected your healthy boundaries if you had any.
Man, I don't like people. No, I'm just kidding. I'm in real estate. No, I'm just kidding. I'm in property management. No, honestly, Mr. Ray, respectfully speaking, always willing to share some information. And it's so funny, in hopes that you might say, hey, you want to make one last comment? My one last comment would have been, I think I put it in the chat when one of the people that was listening to this, I forget his name, the gentleman in business, I shared with him, I was saying, man, excited for your business, get a mentor, and then bring someone along. I'm almost finished.
I think that was Jason. Jason's still here.
Yeah. So my comment is simply this. I don't mean any harm, but I have to share it this way. Keep your finger on the mute button. When Ron Dellums was mayor of Oakland, I remember saying to my wife, who's more astute to things than I am, my challenge sometimes with us is that we don't prepare anyone to take our place. I think about Dianne Feinstein and all them. Sometimes I think about people that don't eat chicken the way I do. And possibly they began to groom someone to take their place. So my hope would be that, one, we do get mentors, and then two, a Reggie or Mr. Patrick, actually there's 2 things here, Reggie or Mr. Patrick will begin to groom and tell other people. And then very lastly, just for me, I'm learning, Reggie, just show up. Just show up. Sometimes just show up. So, but to answer your question, happy to lend support. Honestly, sir, don't take what I'm about to say the wrong way. I don't see myself, honestly, as that guy to be, hey, man, I'm going to mentor you and stuff like that. I just believe in telling people where I made my mistakes and hope that it'll help them, that they don't have to make the same mistakes. But always open if that's the case, if that's the title, mentor share. I like preferably sharing, but I'm always open to lend some information as well as learn some.
I appreciate that stance.
Yes. Yes.
And know that I feel you. I look, and like you said, the community of sharing, and that's really the goal of all this is no, we all are experts in our own right, are tried and true in our own right, and we have things to offer respectively. But before I forget, not only do I want to thank our panelists, I do want to thank everybody for sticking and staying. I know, shoot, we're almost an hour past the 1 mark. And I see you yawning, Reggie. Don't be trying to give me cues. I know you 3 hours ahead now. Okay. Oh, Martinique had a question.
I do.
Did you
Mr.
share your?
Phillip Patrick.
I think Philip's so serious about his interior designer. I remember he was telling me how he was flying her out to do some of these stages. I'm like, man, she must be serious. That speaks to
Yeah,
how
we need
important
her.
it is. For
We need
like,
her contact info. If you're willing to share, don't be a gatekeeper.
oh no,
Yeah, no, she's good. She is great, and I did fly her out, and she was worth every bit of it. And she really cost effective. She finds really cost effective solutions. She was on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist. I mean, she found stuff that fit together. She's on Instagram, so I put her name in the chat.
Where does she live? Sorry to interrupt you.
She lives in Connecticut, and she's got an interesting background. She was a Emmy Award winning anchorwoman for like 25 years, and then she won like 80. She has like 8 or 9 Emmys, and then she decided to switch up and just really she met a woman at her church that was into interior design. Started working with her. Decided, you know what, I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna go into interior design full time. So that's what she's doing now. And yeah, and so if there were 2 or 3 folks in Oakland who were interested or something like that, where it would make a lot of sense for her to come out and spread the cost across a couple people, I'm sure she would welcome that. Yeah, so she's great. She did my Miami, she did my Oakland, she did my Virginia. She did my Virginia. She did the interior design for that and got it ready. I closed on Tuesday afternoon. She had it ready on Thursday evening for a party. I mean, the whole house was ready. And I had a first Airbnb guest on Friday that checked in, and I got a 5-star review.
Come on.
So
I think I might need to use, because I'm kind of going back and forth again, me being selfish because of what Reggie was talking about. Like I just shared like the rates for Section 8, but then also looking at the whole furnished finder play too. And I'm happy if you have time, Phillip, talk a little bit more about that 3-1 because it is coming down the pike, and maybe with your with Carrie. And maybe I don't know if you game Martinique. I know that will make 2 if we were thinking the same thing, and anyone else. Look like Reggie, you trying to get.
I was just gonna say respectfully, man. And this is how we do it. I got 3 pennies because I told you I'm thinking about taking my 4-bedroom and doing an Airbnb. So.
And I'm on 32nd, actually. I'm on 32nd.
Okay, I'm on 32nd in the blue. Yes, sir. Yep. Me too.
32nd. Yep. Turn it into a nice little Airbnb, street, I mean, they got that nice little Prescott market over there now. But yeah, we all need to get together for some coffee over Prescott Market, and just,
I'm with it.
Keep hashing it out.
Let's do it.
Share your contact information, Ray, or maybe I'll get it from Martinique
Yes,
And
I'll
we
share
can
it.
begin like a group chat and figuring this out.
Yep.
But I see folks jumping off. Before y'all leave, any questions for our folks while we have them?
So much game. I can sit here all day and just soak it up.
Who's
Thank
it?
you so much, both of you, for the time and the knowledge and the
Pleasure.
nuggets. I really appreciate it. I'm already a part of your Lord and Patrick
Oh, great.
community. Yeah,
Great.
so
Okay, so there we
I'm
go.
always reading on there. And Reggie, you know I'm tapping in with you all the time. So
Yes,
I'm
yes.
gonna hop and go be a mom, but thank you all so much.
All
Appreciate
right,
it.
y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording, but I'll be sending a copy of the recording out.
Okay. All right, Ray.
Alrighty.
Blessings to you, my brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Reggie,
Yes,
blessings,
sir.
my brother. I'm looking forward to meeting you face to face, man.
Same here.
Time you
Same
come
here.
out.
Please. Well, you know, it's funny you said that because Miss Martinique, my
Yeah.
family is going to be coming to Georgia soon. I got plenty of room for you to stay. Seriously.
Nice big old house over there. Mhm.
Man, hot dog.
Well,
Yep, yep.
well, I got an Airbnb for you to stay next time you come out here. So
Okay. Well, very good.
There we
Very
go.
good. Sounds good. Sounds good to me.
all right.
Awesome.
All right,
Alrighty,
family.
y'all.
Yeah, y'all have a blessed
Have a good
weekend.
Saturday. You too.
Too.
Thank you. Bye now.